full screen. Boom. All right, guys. Let's go. Welcome to the first episode of Who Invited Will, starring me, your host, Jay. I'm joined by Neil.
What's up, everybody? First episode. Let's go.
And Will.
That's me.
So, you probably don't know about the podcast, but that's because it's the first episode right now. So we're going to just talk a little bit about why we decided to do this. First off, we're aspiring stand-up comedians, very aspiring stand-up comedians.
And, two of us are.
Two of us. Neil is just a lone funny ranger who kind of just strolls into our comedy routines and gives us valuable feedback. And that's really why we wanted to do this. We wanted to get together and write as a group. Sorry for the loud motorcycle sounds in the background. We wanted to get together and write to try to make our stand-up better, to try to get funnier, maybe have some other comedians on and write with them and kind of listen to recordings of what we've done. So yeah, that's the main idea.
Will and Jay have been in the comedy scene. What would you guys say, for a few years now? A couple years?
Will longer than me.
Yeah, I've done some improv before and stand up a couple times, but I guess like Jay said, it's all about development and hopefully helping ourselves and helping others get better.
Yeah, I'm kind of like the critic on the show. I'm going to give them some critiques about their stand-up. We're going to listen. Part of the show, typically we're going to end the show with somebody submitting their stand-up comedy to us, and then all three of us are going to critique them. We're probably going to try to bring that person onto the show so they get live critiques. We're going to try doing an advice section where we have people submit any type of problems they have, and we're going to give them advice. Sometimes it's going to be comedic, sometimes serious. Who knows? Could be anything. Toss up.
I'm going to give dating advice.
Will's pretty excited about it, as you can tell. So there's that. So, yeah.
And
so
I
we've
think
got a lot going on.
And it'll
this
grow.
All started really because of Jay. I gotta say.
Well, I have all this nice recording equipment here, which I've been sitting on for I don't know how long. Years.
We shouldn't sit on it.
7 years.
That's probably bad for the wires.
We need to get a Rimshot soundtrack, a little sound effect to just put in post. When Will hits us with one of those bangers, dude.
They call me the Zing Master.
Yeah, they call him the Zing Master. So, yeah, I think what we want to do is really just like have some fun, talk a little bit, joke a little bit, but really like try to keep the focus on just getting better at stand-up and meeting some cool comedians in the scene. I think we'll also get a chance to like bring other people on whose comedy we like, or people who are starting out like us and who want to get a little bit of feedback, or just sit there and like cringe in the chair as they listen to their own material, because that's hard. Like everyone hates listening to the sound of their own voice. You will
see later when Jay presents his material to us.
Yeah,
it'll be great.
Yeah, exactly. You'll get to see me. I'm already sweating underneath my shirt, which maybe people will be able to see, but you'll definitely like see the sweat lines just like coming down as like I'm listening to my recordings.
It's athletic wear, baby. That shit wicks.
Yeah, the best thing about these shirts is like you can see every nipple hair like in perfect outline. Like for some reason.
I can now that you. So
yeah.
You don't have those nipples. Okay, that's cool.
Well, yeah, no, just around the piercings, you can kind of see the hairs.
Jay, do you think you bombed in the stand-up that you're going to show us, or you think you killed?
That's the kind of thing, because it's like, the segment is going to be called Bomb Kill, basically, right? Where we decide did the person bomb. Yeah. Right. I think it should be Bomb, Kill, or Survive. I think I survived. Like,
I like the title Bomb or Kill. I think that's a nice title. Like Bomb, Kill, or Survive is kind of long.
Bomb, Kill, Survive.
We can say survive when we're critiquing people. Like if they just did or average, then we can say survive. But I like Bomb or Kill for the title. However,
Kill.
This is not my show. You see, the guy with the headphones, he's the host of the show. So
yeah, well, I think it's weird because it's like survive is almost to me worse than like bombing or killing. Like I want the like clear feedback.
What?
Because it's
I
like
would way rather want to survive than bomb. Like,
yeah, why would
emotionally, yeah, but I think it's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe survive is fine. I just feel like I just want to kill. Honestly, I don't. Anything other than
That's
kill is
why
basically bomb for me. Like it's
that's
just a
why
1-0.
everyone performs or does anything because they think they're funny, and then you think that your material is gonna kill, so then that's why you're performing it, right?
Yeah.
I don't think people are going up there like, well, God, this is shit, but you know what? I kind of get off on getting humiliated, so if I get an erection, I mean, go with it, everyone.
Well, it looks like I'm gonna ignore that dick joke and say it looks like you just destroyed a ring in the background right there. Like you just threw a ring into a volcano or something.
Oh, it does. It totally looks like Mordor. I did not think of that until right now. There's too many trees, though. I think there's too many trees.
Well, there weren't that many trees in Mordor in the books, actually. It was treeless.
Stay on topic.
Yeah, how Neil? Do you want to go into how the show got its name?
Yeah, how did the show get its name, Neil? Let's talk a little bit about that. Just impromptu.
Well, okay, yeah, solid transition there. Well, the name of the show is, as Jay mentioned, Who Invited Will?
That's me.
Invited,
and that's Will. He's one of the hosts of the show, and Jay, has been wanting to do a podcast basically since I've known the guy. He's always been saying, hey, we should do a podcast. We should do a podcast. Well, now we're in quarantine and we have some extra time on our hands. And he asked us again, he's like, hey, we should do a podcast. We're like, you know what? Let's do it. Just see what's going on and stuff like that. So we're in a Instagram chat with one another, DMing each other about the show. And the first thing when you think of a show, when you're making a show, is you got to come up with a good title. That's number one. So Jay and I are bouncing off ideas one another of names. We're giving each other kind of funny stuff. It's going well. And then here comes Will out of nowhere. All right. And I mean, let me just read to you I was going through the chat the other day and I want to read to you his very first suggestion for a name. All right. And I quote, Matt for a name, dreamers and a realist.
What was that?
What was it?
Did I break up?
There were just so many words I couldn't figure out what was the name.
I quote, Matt for a name, dreamers and a realist.
Okay.
And I responded to him. That's what I was going to ask you about. Like, what does that mean? It says Matt for a name, dreamers and a realist. This is his first title that he recommended.
Are you sure it wasn't dreamers and realists and then the first part was just a mistyped message?
Who's Matt and why?
I don't know. Will, you tell me.
All right, next name on the list.
And I responded with what? I responded with what? And then Jay responded with, Will, are you having a stroke? That was the first title.
That's actually a good title. Will, are you having a stroke? That's actually, I think we should have called it that.
All right, the second name, Will goes from that. Then he responds with, not experts. Okay, that's the second name.
Getting better.
From not experts goes, please laugh. So now we're getting a little bit desperate. So this is, and you got to think of his train of thought. So we went Matt for a name, then he went to not experts, please laugh. This is for you.
That's the title. This is for you.
That's the title. This is for you.
This is all for you, baby.
Okay, so then we start getting on Will, like what's going on with you? Blah blah blah. His next one, why so hard? That's the title of the show.
That's good. I like that.
Why so hard? So then he uses, you got to think of his train of thought. He said, why so hard? So now the next one, try harders.
Try harders.
Yeah. He had why so hard. Then he uses hard in the next one. Try harders.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying our best.
Oh.
It's really what we're trying.
So there's always one
we
word
are trying
in the next
I'm trying my
suggestion
best.
he makes. There's always a word. Have you
noticed
that?
It's like
he
that
takes
game.
That word and he puts it in another name.
It's like Scrabble, but with words.
Order. Yeah.
I haven't even got to my favorite one yet.
What's that?
I'm saving it for last. Well, there's two left.
Okay, Foof. I was gonna say, how many suggestions did I give? Damn, I'm just a
lot.
Brainstorming machine.
I feel like you should tilt your camera down a little, Will. By the way.
Podcast Sawcast.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe move that.
Wait. Oh, podcast Sawcast.
Podcast sucks ass.
Sawcast. Saw.
Sucks.
For those of the people that don't know, the Saw dudes from California, these guys. So Will and I have been saying that to each other for years now. So podcast Sawcast, and then we end with Sawcastic.
Suck
Which
ass
basically
dick.
sounds like suck ass dick, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, I think where you're going with this is basically like we basically kicked Will off the group thread, kicked Will off the thread, and we're like, and then Neil goes, "Who invited Will anyway?" And it was like, wait, that's it. That's the title, guys. Who invited Will?
Exactly. After all that.
And after that, then they invited me back into the group chat, and they told me the name of the podcast we're doing. So kind of all worked out.
Literally, though, it looks like the Death Star's in front of you and Mordor is behind you. That's what it was.
They call me Mr. Nerd.
Yeah. What are you drinking there, Neil?
Oh, it's just vodka.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
A little bit of vodka.
Just hanging out.
Extract.
Just hanging out.
It's been forever, man. It's like, I don't know. When are we going to even... I mean, I want to do this in person at some point and get, like, cameras and have a fucking little studio and just, like, really do it up, you know? I mean, like, the bedroom recording's fine.
That's going... We're on the first episode.
Yeah.
And, like, now we're, like, purchasing real estate and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Dude, this thing is going to be
Might as well,
huge. Like, our millions of fans are going to look back on this episode and just be like, why did he have a mustache?
Why? This is literally. Oh, I almost spoke outside the microphone. This is literally the first day of my life I've ever had a mustache.
It's not bad, dude.
Go for it.
Probably be your last.
Yeah, it is going to be my.
No,
last. It is.
I'm on the fence, dude. Like I kind of want to go for a little mustache ride myself.
No, this is
You know
terrible.
what Neil looks like? He looks like the varsity linebacker who couldn't make it in college, so joined the police force.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the police mustache. I think that's fair.
The police mustache.
You gotta get
is the
aviators,
has-been.
dude.
Yeah, I need the aviators. I don't have the aviators.
Oh, man.
But I'll step it up.
This thing, dude. I almost feel like the mustache should be your summer look. It's a little hipster. That's where I feel like it's a little. It's like
it's very hipster.
you look like a Mexican hipster a little bit. Kind
It's
of.
very Denver.
Yeah, but it
very
is Denver.
Yeah.
For
But now,
sure.
if I keep the mustache, I feel like I have to go like vegan. I have to go hiking every day, get a bunch of tattoos.
I mean, that's what they
Worth
do
it.
here. That's what they like.
Short cut off jean shorts.
Yeah.
Totally. What are the bikes? Fixed bike? What's it called? Fixed gear?
So yeah. Anyway, I think we were gonna talk about. We were gonna do advice. So
Well,
our first segment.
Yeah. So this is our first segment of the evening. We don't have a name for it. We have it. For now, it's called just the advice segment.
It's got to be something like
Maybe
Uncle
we
Neil.
could have our followers. Maybe the people that watch the show, they can send us suggestions.
Yeah, this is really your segment, though. I feel because you're the only one who's read the question. Will and I have not read
People are
this.
sending the question specifically to Neil at Neil_Schneider on the gram. If you guys
Thanks
want
for that plug, Will. Appreciate the plug.
Also, we
The
could
old
mention
Instagram
the email address, whoinvitedwill@gmail.com. You can also, if you feel like having a question answered on the show, and as long as we like the question or Neil likes the question, then
Neil's going to be the one. Yeah, that's going to be the
Is
whole
this my
segment.
segment? It's my segment?
It's your segment.
Oh,
and you're
my.
gonna be only telling us the question during the podcast. So Jay and I are reacting it for the first time, just like how the stand-up we're going to be reacting for the first time. We're not going to listen to it before.
right.
Yeah.
So hit us with it, Neil.
So I have read this question. We've had a few submittals. I put on my story on Instagram asking people if they want questions answered. But a lot of people, they sent me an initial question, but I really need more of a backstory for a lot of this stuff. So this one was the best one we've got so far. It is. So I've been dating my girlfriend for about 1.5 years. The first year was great, so I decided to ask her to move in with me. The last 6 months living together has been terrible for me. I really enjoy having my space, and now I feel like I have none. Basically, I can't live with her, but don't want to be without her. I have ended 2 relationships in the past because of this, and I'm afraid it will keep on happening until I find someone who agrees with my philosophy of cohabitation.
Spell it out. Yeah. Sound it out.
Okay.
I'll get Will to spell it. I believe in marriage. However, I struggle with living with my significant other. What should I do? Am I doomed or is there hope?
Wow, this is totally what it's like. Not.
Well, let me take
Nancy
this one because I think I'm the only one who's ever cohabitated with anybody. Have
Yeah,
either of you
Will
guys
and
lived with
I
I'll
anybody?
let you go first, and then I'll clean it up with the real answer. But yeah, go ahead.
So let me just ask you guys: have either of you guys lived with anybody that you've been dating?
No.
I think Will and I's combined amount of relationship experience is probably about 7.5 months. So
I was gonna say you and Will have lived together for a really long
Yeah.
time. You guys have made it
Jeez.
work for 7 years.
it's a grind, you know. It's a grind.
Is it breaking up for you guys? It said my internet connection is shitty.
No,
Well,
you're fine.
it's fine. We're good. I think we look good.
Okay,
You're fine.
we'll see.
Yeah. So
Jay,
so yeah.
you start us off here. What should this person do?
So yeah, I will just put it out there and say that I am not the person to ask for relationship advice. You know,
However,
I would say I did not succeed at cohabitation, to put it lightly. Like, so this long couch that I'm sitting on right here, right? It's an 8-foot long couch, which is a good size for me. I'm tall. I'm about 6'2". So if I stretch out all the way. Like, I can lay on this couch. The couch that we had when we first moved in here in this apartment was like 5 feet. Like, it wasn't even long enough for me to like lay on, and so it was like we're on top of each other all the time. There's nowhere to even like sit. I get the space thing. Like, you want, sometimes you just need time alone. Like, I think somebody was quoting Adam Carolla and said that like relationship success can be measured by square footage. So essentially meaning like the bigger the place you guys live in, the easier it is to have a successful relationship because you can like go off and have your own space. And I don't know what your apartment's like. If it's anything like mine, that's not possible. Like, I can't even imagine living here with anyone else before, and I did it for like a year and a half.
yeah,
Or maybe
how
at
big is
least
your
a year.
apartment?
I don't know. Not that big. It's cozy. It's cozy. It's quaint. It's an English basement, as they call it. You know,
Okay.
it's there's a lot of like heating pipes that run through the ceiling. But yeah, I think my advice is if it's at all possible, you have to designate space that is just yours. Like, you know, the man cave thing. That shit is real. You know, like, you need your little cave where you can go in and just not see anyone, especially your significant other, because it's like the more time you guys spend together, like, you know, cooking together, bumping into each other in the kitchen, you didn't wash the dishes, all the shit that happens with a roommate happens with your significant other. So I think you said you have the person who we're talking to, I guess they're going to remain anonymous, but they basically said that, so they said that that they have
They've
a
been together for a year. They were
Right.
fine. It was fine.
Well, I mean,
Then he
yeah, of
asked her to
course.
move in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that whatever his cohabitation philosophy is, they need to sit down and like have a conversation. Like, how are we gonna like, you know, use the space? How are we gonna? Maybe there's times where he's out and they're in, or they're in and they're out, and they might not have space to actually split it up, but they could like have time alone. But that time alone is super, super important. I mean, I bet it's terrible now though with quarantine. Like, I'm sure there's no time alone, and it's just
he's probably struggling.
Yeah, so that's my advice. My advice is to like do whatever you can to carve out your own little niche of space, you know, and make sure your sofa is big enough. And if you have a too small of a sofa, like, you got to at least be able to like lay both on it and make out and like enjoy that experience. And
If
not
American
too small.
Furniture Warehouse is watching this, we need sponsors. So
Plug, yeah.
So
Plug
go
for
to
a company
American
that we
Furniture Warehouse,
yeah.
get yourself a big sofa, and that should probably solve your problem with your relationship.
And if
Will,
not, dude, just
what do you
break
think?
up. You know, like, honestly, you're probably gonna be miserable.
He said he can't live without her, though.
Well,
he said he cannot live without her, and he's ended 2 relationships.
Well, he
past.
lived without those 2 people. What were about those? He couldn't live without those people.
Yeah, but what if this is a reoccurring thing? Are we going through the motions here? Maybe he needs to break through the wall.
The wall
What I
is
would
the wall of
say-
his house. He needs to break through and leave the relationship. That's what I think.
Or knock it down to make space for the man cave.
Yes.
All right, I want to hear Will's advice on this one.
Okay.
Will, what do you think our viewer should do?
You know, I agree with a lot with what Jay is saying about understanding different personality traits and understanding needing alone time or not. And so I think really what it comes down to is communication. I'm really curious if his significant other feels the same way, if she also feels trapped or like she's having a bad time. And if they've even had a conversation about that, is he just bringing that up to get advice, or has he actually sat down and talked to her about it? Because at the end of the day, she might not think it's a problem. And the more you can talk about it and set those boundaries to say, yes, I do need my alone time. Maybe I do just go to the room and just let me do my own thing. Or there's a lot of things in the relationship that I think can be fixed through communication. But then at the end of the day, if you're going to live with someone and I guess eventually get married, I would see that as a lifetime commitment. And the fact that they think that they cannot be without that person.
It seems like things moves quickly. That's what I think you're getting at. A year is quick.
Some people,
move in.
I have one of my best friends. He met a girl for 2 weeks, and then he didn't move in with her, but he moved to wherever she was.
Well, because he probably is poor and didn't have a good place, and she had a better place. So that's the first answer. Second of all, he's an idiot. So like 2 weeks, that's insane to me, dude. Like,
yeah, that's insane.
That's insane.
Okay, sure. I'm just saying that it can work for some people, and I've seen it successfully. It's not going to work for everyone, and I agree. I would caution to jump into things. And the thing
he already jumped into it though. Like,
lease up
together for a year, been living together for 6 months.
Okay.
That's quick to me. Like, and then now can't live without a person you just met a year ago, dude.
Okay.
Go ahead, Will.
Yeah, please. Will's like turning red. Let me finish.
So I'm assuming maybe they have 6 months left on the contract. There's a lot of other questions. Well, you said they're living
6 months
together.
left on the contract.
The lease. He means
they
the
didn't
lease.
Sign a contract to be with.
He means the lease, like wherever they live.
Lease. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know who's living with who.
It also depends. Is it a studio? Is it a 2-bedroom? Is it a 1-bedroom? Like,
he's just not. The whole point. I don't think the whole point is about the space.
But
like
it
the
is
physical space. I think he just feels pressured because he's living with this person that they're always together.
Listen, dude. Just don't get her pregnant. Whatever you fucking do, I don't care if you think, because then you'll never be able to live without her. Like, literally for the rest of your life, as long as you want to be around the kid, you will never be without her again for the rest of your life if you have a kid. So if you really feel you can't live without her, then maybe secretly get her pregnant. Otherwise, I say,
wow,
bust the wall down.
Pregnant.
I mean, I say bust the walls down and just get out of that place, dude. Like in a cartoon where you run through the wall and there's like an imprint of his shape. That's what he should do.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with Jay on this one. I say have a couple kids. Why not? Do it. Fatherhood.
Just go all in. It's going to only get better if you have more kids in the space.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll get way more alone time.
I agree. I think, and that's a thing too. I don't think there's anything wrong with after it to separate living together and see how that works in the different dynamic of you not living together. Everything is completely dynamic. There is no right. There is no wrong. It's just whatever works for you two. And I think it's all about communication and letting them know how you feel.
Yeah, I think that's the key here.
Solid
advice. They gotta communicate for sure. I'm not sure if this person has told his girlfriend how he's truly feeling. I don't know, but if you're masking it, eventually she's gonna figure out something's off, right? Yeah.
Or it leads to other things. It leads to you drinking more. It leads to you, maybe being adulterer. Who knows what it is? There's a lot of things that.
What's an adulterer? What's that?
Cheating.
Oh,
it's where you become an adult, Neil. You should try.
Overrated.
The worst for me. All
right, cool. I think that was a great first advice segment. Thank you for whoever submitted.
No, the segment's not over, Will. This is my segment. It's not how this.
Oh.
Will's always trying to end other people's segments like that.
No.
Why are you always trying to end other people's segments, Will? Damn.
Yeah, what is that?
What, like, you're just going to come into my segment? Do you just think I'm just going to sit there and let you end my segment, Will?
Yeah. Who invited you to this segment, Will?
Really, Will? You think I'm just going to sit there and let you end my segment?
All right, Neil, hit us with your advice. I'm sorry.
You think I'm just gonna sit here and let you kill me, John? John, you think you can let me?
Really, John?
No, I don't. I think you guys hit it on the head. I think the big thing is the communication. Yeah. So at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
One last thing. One last thing though.
okay,
Don't.
hit
This
it.
is what I always did, and this is the thing I will not do in the future, which was absolutely miserable. We would like get in an argument. We didn't know how to resolve it without like screaming at each other's heads off. So we would just basically give each other like the silent treatment for like days, but act like we weren't giving each other the silent treatment. And then if I like brought it up on like day 2 when I was just like I can't do this anymore, I'd be like, hey, it seems like something's a little wrong, and it'd be like, well, now that you mentioned it, yeah, but I was feeling fine until you brought it up, and now yeah, I am feeling bad. So
Yeah.
my advice is like
Don't do that.
don't do that. Find a way to
Don't.
communicate. Like even if it's hard, it sounds like you might have a little bit of difficulty, like I do, kind of saying what your needs are up front. Because some people that's not an issue for, but for me it is. So I would say just find a way to like if you have needs for more space and she doesn't know that, maybe she doesn't even know that you're upset. You have to make that clear and not in an accusatory way, like you're doing this to me. You're taking my space up. You're doing this. Just say like, hey, I feel like I need space to be happy personally. And
Yeah.
like I feel like sometimes the way our dynamic is in the place, it doesn't give me that need that I have. And focus it really on you. That's what my therapist says.
I think it could be a mental situation here too. It's like it's almost like traumatic for this person because he's already, like he said prior, that he's gone through 2 relationships where he ended it after moving in together. So now he's like, all right, I guess this is what happens next. We're gonna move in together, and then it's not gonna go well, and we're gonna have to end things.
Well,
So he's like, and does he need like? And that's why I say I think this person needs to break down this wall and move on.
yeah.
Oh man, I just got a big running out of time.
yeah.
It's well, the thing is, it's not. It sounds like it's not her. Then, if if this is the third time the same
don't
thing has
know.
happened,
I
then
don't
how
know.
could it be
And you
her?
don't- and
There
I
has
would
to be
agree-
some
one said
component
it was her. No one said it was her though.
And
I'm
I
just
would
saying.
agree with that too. It's not. It's the matter of. I would also say that that's not the right conclusion to say. Well, I've tried this 2 times in the past and it hasn't worked. So this is just how things are supposed to be. Because then that's how people end up in a 40-year-old marriage where they're not happy. So it's not that things are supposed to be any kind of way. You have control of your life and you're able to speak up and hold accountability. Getting back to what Jay said, actually, is so funny. I just listened to or just watched this YouTube video before about emotional maturity. And that was one of the things that it brought up was how people deal with disappointment or any kind of issue with people that they're emotionally connected with. And signs of someone who's emotionally immature is like really a lot of anger, like putting it all out there, getting mad, yelling, but then also that avoidance of just, well, no, I'm not even going to act like this bothered me, but no, it does bother you. And that's part of growing up and being emotionally mature is, look, this actually did bother me, what you're doing, what you're saying, and I want to address it so that that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, it's
So-
like it's like having difficult conversations, right? Like you get
Exactly.
older and you learn to like, yeah, it's uncomfortable to kind of speak up in a lot of those situations, and it's hard for me. Like I'll tend to just be like, yeah, things are fine, but inside I'm like, but it's like, no, I'm happy, and then it's like it all just boils over like at a certain point, and then it's like that's the wrong time because nobody wants to hear like nobody's going to be receptive if you just start screaming an avalanche of like everything that's gone wrong over the last 3 months at them. And then of course there's going to be a breakup or something like that because it's just like, whoa, dude, like you're giving me too much.
Yeah.
And like I don't know what their communication style is, but like yeah, it's like you don't want to go from the extreme of either avoiding it to the other extreme of like just blame and like casting, you know, all this like anger and aggression at somebody who you're supposed to arguably love. But yeah, maybe
See you, Will.
it seems like yeah.
Good having you on the show, Will.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Will.
So I guess that means we're moving on to the next segment.
I
I mean, that
agree.
was a little bit of a deep topic for a comedy, so quote unquote comedy podcast.
Hey guys, I got
But-
some light, baby.
There you go.
So it was a little bit of a little deeper.
I think that's fine
problem.
though. This
But
isn't just about
if you wanna
comedy, guys.
submit your
It's about
problems-
life.
If you want to submit your problems, at Neil_Schneider on Instagram or email us whoinvitedwill@gmail.com. We've already got some good ones also in the, as Will would call the prompt. Inside joke.
Yeah, how's the
in the
prompt
queue,
doing,
we
guys?
got him
Wait,
in the
are your
queue.
prompts on?
Are the prompts on? We got him in the queue, so
Yeah, they're on.
should be solid. So that being said, let's jump into Jay's stand-up. You got the audio ready, Jay?
I do. Maybe we should take a short break and jump onto
we've
another
got-
Zoom because we got 6
Yeah,
minutes left.
let's go ahead and we'll jump over to the next segment.
Cool. Short break, intermission.
break.
Guys, we'll be right back. Who Invited Will, episode uno.
Uno.
All right.
Bye.
And we're back, guys. Who Invited Will, episode 1. And we're about to do the segment we like to call Bomb Kill. And what does Bomb Kill mean? It means we listen to somebody's stand-up, hopefully while they're right here. Yeah, well, I'm actually above you in my recording, Will. But yeah, we listen to somebody's stand-up, and we basically cringe while the other two sit there and pick apart everything that we've poured our heart and soul into and dedicated our lives to for the last several months. But that's cool. No, I think what we do basically is we show a recording of somebody's stand-up. We have them listen to it, which should be entertaining, and then basically the rest will just critique and kind of say what they thought, and then they'll decide, do they think the person bombed or do they think the person killed?
Yeah. What Jay said exactly.
Yes.
So we'll hear Neil's version of it now.
Are you done, Will? Are you done? Will, are you done? Oh, I didn't change. My name still says Neil Schneider. That's a shame.
Fuck.
Oh, I can put our tags over those.
Neil_Schneider, Instagram.
Mr. J. Misra, Instagram.
We're going to be listening to Jay's stand-up, as we mentioned earlier.
Indeed.
We are looking forward to people submitting their stand-up in the future. I mean, we all know that this coronavirus is going on and there's not any stand-up comedy going on. But I know there are people out there that have previous recordings of their stand-up comedy that we would love to hear. So
video or audio,
email us.
By the way, it could be audio, but it could also, if you have a video, that's even better. You know?
Yeah, video would be awesome.
Yeah.
Get that going on the show. Exciting stuff.
2 to 3 minutes in length, I would say. You know, not like a full 5 minutes. If you're good enough to have 5 minutes of type material, you don't need us to sit there and critique you. Well, maybe you do, and you're just deluding yourself. But
when we critique Will's gonna submit a 10-minute video, so everyone look forward to that one. It was really solid. I was there for it. So that being said, Jay, let's do it. Do you have it in the prompt, Jay?
It is prompt.
All right, go ahead and
it is locked, stocked, and prompt to go.
All right, shoot, go ahead.
Will just disappears when we're saying
I got my
Will, focus.
I got a piece of paper because I want to take notes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice.
I'm a mental guy. Go for it.
All right, guys. Let's start it. Oh. The recording is going to mess up. It's fine. We'll black that out and go. Start my recorder. So yeah, like, it's kind of fucked up, like, when you learn something weird about yourself recently. Like, I was talking to a friend, and I was like, hey, man, how much Molly do you think you can do before it starts getting bad for you? And he was like, well, honestly, like, I just look at you. However much you're doing, that's what's bad for you. And so I learned, like, I'm like his anti-drug, you know? Where it's like, well, I'm not doing as many drugs as Jay, so I'm probably still good. So yeah, I suffer from depression a little bit. Molly helps. But yeah, so it's manageable, but it like seeps into my life in weird ways. Like recently I was at a house and a dog came to pet me and I was just like, hey there, little guy, how you doing? Like, you sense my sadness? And the dog just like immediately walked away and was like, thanks for making it weird, bro. Like, but yeah, so speaking of making it weird, recently I told my friend, I was like, yo, I was all happy. I was like, I just did some aggressive manscaping, you know, and like, it kind of hurt because their first response was like, for who? You know? Okay, it's like, I know I've been single a while, but you know, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. You know what I'm saying? So I did like a little bow tie and got a monocle, you know, because that's one eye. And, so apparently the job I want is getting blowjobs at the opera. I don't know. Just like, But what else? No. But yeah, truthfully, I am pretty thirsty. Like, it's been a while since I had sex. It's also seeping into my life in weird ways. Like my Instagram is being slowly taken over by butts. Like, I didn't know how many butts I was following until, like, I opened my Instagram next to a coworker and there was a butt. So instead of, like, doing the, like, whoop and putting it back, I was just like, butt, and, like, made it awkward and leaned into it. But yeah, like, then I told my friend this, and, like, without missing a beat, he was like, oh god, dude, like, same thing, I can't even open my Instagram in public anymore. And so I was like, well, how many butts are you following, dude? And he was like, well, you know, this many. I was like, oh, dude, this guy's following way more butts than me, I'm cool. You know? Anyway, got the light. My time. Thanks, guys. Yep, fade out. And that was the voice of Lauren Default. I think that's how you say her name. Shout outs to Lauren. She runs the Voodoo Comedy Open Mic every Wednesday. The open mic starts, I think the show starts at 8 or 9. I think the sign up starts at 8:30. Sign up starts at 8:30. We'll put the details in the description of the show, but sign up starts at 8:30, and then I think they would do 30 people, 3 minutes each. So the first 30 in line are the ones who get to go. Sometimes they have a little time for extra people, but they cut it down to like 2 minutes if you don't make the list. And the show goes. That at, Jay? It's at Voodoo Comedy. It's like around 21st and Larimer in Denver, Colorado, downtown. And it's really cool. It's a cool open mic because like it's very friendly. Like Lauren is cool. Like everyone who goes there is like trying to learn comedy. So most of the crowd is just like aspiring comics. And so yeah, that's where that took place. And you know, I thought it was okay. There were some laughs. Like I said, a dog came to pet me. I noticed.
We're doing the critiques, buddy.
But one thing I said,
you just sit back and get ready to take it.
I said I was at a party and a dog came to pet me. That's what I said.
Did you? I didn't even know. I didn't even hear
it. Sounded so, and I was like, a dog came to pet me. Anyway, all right. What did you guys think?
I wanted to start my first critique. You said a dog was trying to pet you, and you sounded like an idiot, and I immediately was like, this guy stinks. So that was the first thing that came to mind.
You know.
Will, do you want to start, or you want me to go?
I can start.
Shoot, go ahead.
You took notes. I saw you taking notes the whole time, dude. Man.
I know. I like this note taking.
Wait a minute. Wait.
What's going on, Neil? You got a white light in your face. Go into the light. Go into the light, Neil.
Go ahead. You want me to die?
No, run away from the light.
Oh, run away.
I thought it was actually, even in the very first line, I thought that was kind of funny, like to start my recorder. And I don't know why, but like if I hear recorder, I think of elementary school playing the like recorder. And maybe that's not funny, but
what was that sound?
Yeah, sorry. Can you play us a little tune?
Well, how's a recorder sound?
Yeah.
Crossbars.
Nice.
Oh my god, I think that'd be hilarious. But that might just be too much. So let me get to your actual jokes and not just you setting up your recorder.
No, this is useful, dude. This is so useful.
I really like the transition from the taking a lot of Molly to depression, because those tie together, and then that like went right into it, and I thought that was really good timing. Made me laugh. One thing that stuck out was with the dog. You could probably maybe go into more details around like how much you were tracking the dog down or how desperate you were to get the attention. You like start going around the house finding food to give it. You're chasing it around. I don't know, something. I like that idea that you're just like so deprived of any kind of connection. You're so lonely that you're just chasing the dog, and the dogs just love you, or like dogs should just be all loving and man's best friend, and that it's still like, bro, chill.
Right. I'm too enthusiastic for a dog. You know what I mean? Like the most enthusiastic creature that God has ever created.
I liked the joke with the manscaping a lot. One thing though, I was thinking, since you're tying it back to Monopoly, instead of getting a blowjob at the opera, you could maybe take it darker, or then like actually bring it into companies that were, or industries that monopolized, like, oh, I'm setting up a banana republic, or, you know, like really going down the monopolized.
I see what you're saying.
path
Like basically
instead of the
being
opera.
like, my dick is the monopoly guy, and then start acting like it's some like captain of industry. That's an
Yes,
interesting.
exactly.
Yeah, that's an interesting angle. Huh.
The like the Fitzgerald or
F. Scott
Rockefeller
Fitzgerald.
or whatever.
Yeah. The F. Scott. I basically manscaped my dick in the shape of F. Scott Fitzgerald.
It's a rambling time.
Let me tell you about the rich. They think they're better than us. You know what I mean?
The one I actually didn't really like the Instagram joke.
Yeah, I cut
but-
that later on. I didn't.
Okay.
I never said
'Cause
that again.
I don't know. It didn't. Or you have to make it like higher stakes. Like it's not you're talking to a buddy, because a buddy, I don't give a fuck like what you guys, if I show you pictures of my phone and it's butts. But if it's my mom, if it's my grandma, and you're like trying to show them a cool video you made or a cool picture you took, and you're having to just like scroll through ass, then that would maybe be, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut that one. Like I was trying to do a callback to like the initial joke of like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't do as many drugs as you. I don't follow as many, but I didn't. It wasn't like, it was my first attempt to just try like, oh, I want to do a callback like the pros, and it just like, even while I was saying it, I'm like, oh, the connection isn't there.
Where was the callback? Did you think you had there?
That's so funny because I had that written down too, to loop back to that drug comparison. So I just had that as my subconscious.
It worked a little bit maybe, but I could tell like, so the callback was like, remember the initial joke is like, oh, I just found out that like my friend uses me to gauge how many drugs he's doing, like if he's not doing as much as me, and then so the connection would be, I use my friend to gauge how many butts is too many butts to follow on Instagram. Do you see
It's too deep. That's a lot. That's a lot of thinking.
Wait.
Bro. This is an Inception.
So wait,
This is stand up.
are you done, Will? You can Neil?
I'm done. No, that's it. I don't think that's too deep. I think if you were to keep it, that you could clean that callback up a little bit. But I get the intention, and that's what I wrote down. That so it must have worked at some point because I was trying to connect those two. So
Nice. So wait,
otherwise, yeah, I thought that was funny. Thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks for
dude. Thanks for
Can you
listening.
guys explain for our viewers who don't know what a callback is, who may not be into comedy, what exactly it is?
It's when you. Okay, so before I do that, Will, bomb or kill?
Or survive,
I would
Will,
say
your
kill.
favorite.
I would say kill. I liked a lot of.
Whoa.
I liked most of the jokes. I really did. The last one didn't work, but people were laughing. It got me thinking. You really painted a good picture, I think, with some of your descriptions.
Scriptures.
The scripture.
The scripture.
From henceforth.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, dude.
Yeah,
I
good job.
appreciate you guys taking a listen at that. But so the callback to go back
Yeah,
to
what
call
is it?
back to the callback explanation. Basically, a callback is like when you say something early on in your material or in your act, and then you reference that joke. You might say the punchline again in a different context, or you might reference another situation, but then bring a detail from an old situation back in. And it's kind of just like it's like an Easter egg or a little like self-referential thing for the audience. So it's like people who are really listening and engaged will hear the callback and kind of just be like, oh yeah, okay, so. Yeah, he's talking. It's that other joke that I thought was funny, and then it reminds you of the other joke that was funny, and so you laugh because you're like remembering that funny joke from before.
It almost like creates an inside joke with the audience.
Yes, that's a really good way of looking at it. It's like through in the span of your material, you create an inside joke, and then you can call back to that inside joke, and it's kind of like not a cheap way to get laughs, but it's like a guaranteed way to get laughs.
Yeah. However, with callbacks, in my opinion, I think they need to be. It has to be like blatantly obvious.
Right.
It's a callback. If there's any type of part where the audience can be like, "Oh, was that supposed to be a callback, or was that a callback?" It ruins the callback. That's why I thought it was too deep when I said that. If you think it has to be something this stupid person would know that's a callback. Oh, it's the same punchline. It's the same joke. It's
it has to be like word for word, the same tag.
When you have to when it's like, oh, what you were supposed to do as an audience is you're supposed to think about this and then think about this and then relate to this. And that's the callback. No.
Or maybe you could, if you did keep that joke, you could make it that the friend that told you about taking too much Molly is also the person that is the one you're showing the butts to. So
Yeah.
then you call them back and like,
Yeah.
all right, well, you got me on the Molly, but I got you on the butts or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. I think
Yeah, it's
But
tough.
if you don't like the joke, then get rid of the joke too. Yeah, because I
might try to rework it, but it doesn't really
Yeah.
seem like there's much there for honestly. Like,
Yeah.
it just
And
I don't really like it. It was just sort of like I really think the joke itself. I was trying to relate. I was trying to be funny about that moment with my coworker, showing that every time I put my hand up, the light changes like dramatically on mine. It's kind of crazy.
Well,
So anyway,
hey, let me tell
yeah.
you what I think.
Yeah, let's hear it, Neil.
And I gotta say, man, Will, you gave him a kill right off the bat. That's something. If I'm gonna be going pretty hard, Jay.
All right.
You're going pretty hard. If you thought you were depressed before,
crying before we got on the Zoom, baby. Let's go.
going in. No, you did a good job. I thought
Thank you.
thought it was pretty solid. A lot of what Will said, he of course took exactly what I was going to say. So completely worthless, Will. Thanks for nothing. The butt Instagram thing, I don't think landed. Like we said before, I don't think it's gonna. That's like you said, you're gonna take it off.
There's not a lot there. Yeah.
Yeah. The dress for the job you want, I thought was very funny.
Thank you.
I thought, yeah, that made me laugh. I didn't see that coming at all. The what else transition, that part, you're like, what else, and then you
Yeah.
laughed. I wouldn't go with the what. I like let the awkward silence be there. Like just embrace it. Or what you typically do a good job of, because I've heard and seen you do stand up before, is you typically laugh like in between your jokes, because when you think something's funny, you laugh along with it, and it gets the audience to laugh too. So that kind of fills in those gaps when you're thinking of your and it might be, I don't know if you're laughing because it's like a nervous laugh,
Yeah.
or you're laughing because you think it's funny.
I'm uncomfortable.
But I wanted to see more of that there instead of the what else. The dog thing. I think you're on the right track with the dog thing.
Yeah.
Thanks for making it awkward.
Yeah.
I
Thanks for making it
think
weird.
there can be definitely making it weird. Thanks for making it weird. Like I think that could be set up much better. Like you're going into the party, you're not talking to anybody, and then you finally get excited, you see the dog, and then the dog leaves you, and you're like, oh, just like everyone else, or something. I don't know exactly what the punchline can be.
Jeez, that's dark, dude. That's depressing. Just
Well,
nobody's gonna like me this entire party. Not even the dog likes me.
better though if you go in and then if you go into the party and you're trying to talk to people and you still can't get the engagement from people, so then you have to resort to the dog. It's not even that people are not. I think that's kind of funny.
It's a long setup.
Build it more. You could totally build it into more of a story than just the walking. Like there's something there for sure.
Yeah, I like the short setup. I'm really trying to just to respond to that part. I'm just trying to keep the laughs quick. I don't think I'm good enough on stage yet to really lead people down a path where they're not going to be laughing for a minute and then guaranteed know that this payoff is going to be worth it, so I don't have to deliver. I think the pressure I feel is I need to deliver a lot of laughs per minute, a lot of LPMs, guys, as they call it in the biz. High LPMs, yeah. Needed high LPMs, dude. Set up maybe one, maybe two sentences, and transition sentence, set up, and then the next is the punchline. And so I agree with you guys. I think maybe I need to add more jokes on the end. I need to set it up vividly enough so that I could say 3 or 4 tags or 3 or 4 punchlines, and then kind of hear which punchline gets the best pop, you know?
Yeah. It seemed like it was kind of up and down. It was like a roller coaster ride. You had a really one with a lot of laughs and one not so laughs. And then you ended on one with, I thought, your worst joke of the night.
Yeah. No, that's a consistent theme.
But that's the word
of my
butt.
stand-up.
The word butt is not funny. Maybe if you would say ass,
booty's
or booty.
Funny.
Oh, booty! I love booty. That booty is funny.
Just be y'all follow any booties on Instagram?
Yeah, there you go. So much better than butt. The word butt kills it.
It's a stopping point.
I'm like, man, this joke sucks. Before he even said the joke, he said the word butt. I'm like, this joke's gonna suck so bad. But I just said the word butt.
You
And
just
it
stopped
wasn't funny.
and it stopped the conversation in its
And it
tracks.
stopped the conversation. It stopped the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we even talking about anymore?
Can we edit that out? What are we talking? Yeah. So the whole roller coaster thing, I think what my point is, I think you need to build it. You know, you want to end on a high note the entire time. You want to be going on an up slope, and you're kind of just.
I think it kind of fizzles out. Like it's almost like if you fight, like if you're a fighter and you come out and you're just the first round, you just like blow your load and just like spend your whole gas tank, and then afterward, I'm just like, okay, well they laughed a few times. I don't really know how to end this. Let me just try like. Okay, I can think of this, or like let me just try this random joke that I thought.
Well, and to your point, like, is that the first time you've even performed that material? It's hard to know what's even going to get the last.
That was the first time.
Yeah.
So then it's hard to know
any of it.
What's even going to get the laughs, or what your best joke even is. So that's why we get up and perform, is so then you see what gets the laughs and what doesn't. And yeah, I guess what you're saying more about. I think they call it like that word economy,
right?
Or trying to say something as concise as possible. You take out all the fillers to just get the joke and the details that people need. And when you only have 3 minutes, you can't spend 2.5 minutes building up for one. Or you could. I mean, I might try.
There was one comedian that night who was really good. She was funny. She was pretty. I was into it, but
I think it seems
what's her
like
gram?
She was really pretty.
What's her gram?
No, she was good. Like
it seemed like the emphasis there was that she's really pretty.
Well, I don't know, man. It's like that joke about being thirsty. Like it's been a long time, a long time, bro. So yeah, Incel crew, what's up? No, I'm just kidding. So no, but she basically did the whole time. She just did one joke, and it was about walking home. And like how she's like she's not safe at all. I'm gonna butcher it, but basically it's like she's not safe at all when she walks home, and like she just puts her AirPods in, and she's like closing her eyes, singing like "Rape Me" by like Smashing Pumpkins, and like at the top of her lungs, and then she did like a bit where she like goes and like starts singing it to like a homeless guy who's sitting there or something, and like it killed, dude. Like literally, it was exactly what you talked about. It started funny, like, oh, this is funny, and then like she just had like another punchline, and then it just like tagged it up, and it was and she didn't tell any other jokes the whole time. It was just 2 minutes of that.
That's what you can do with your dog. I feel like you gotta come. Maybe a lot of comedians like, oh yeah, this actually happened, but it obviously didn't. Maybe that's where you need to go with. Maybe just this party where the dog was. It probably didn't happen. I hope that didn't happen to you.
No.
But you can expand. You can expand on that and make a story out of it. And I think you're on the right track. It just needs to be built better.
Maybe the next time I go up.
And destroy the butt one. Just destroy it. Don't build it.
It's already gone. Actually, the next time I went up, I took it out of that 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I think what I might try next time, whenever the fucking comedy open mics open again, is that I'll try to like basically keep like just do one joke and try to make it 2 minutes, like one premise, and then try to build that premise up for 2 minutes, because that might actually be a good exercise to kind of, because instead of that, like, hey, this, what do you call it this? Oh, you call it that. Ha ha ha. What do you call it this? Like, and then just move on to things that aren't related. Maybe just try to like really build relations between what I'm talking about. Like build one premise out really well.
On those open mics that are only like 5 minutes, I rarely see anybody doing any callbacks, and I get it. You don't have enough time to set up a callback. Like,
true.
Callbacks are funny when there's like 30 minutes in between where that wasn't referenced, and then it all of a sudden it comes up again without even you're not expecting it. Like if it's a callback that you can see coming, it doesn't land as well.
I've even seen comedians like end their special on a really good callback. They'll bring back one of their early.
Well, you end on a callback. I mean, I'm not a stand-up comic. I love seeing people end on callbacks.
I didn't even know what it was, and now all of a sudden,
now I'm there, baby.
They call him the callback kid.
Mr. Callback here.
They call him Mr. Callback.
Mr. Callback's going to give you a rating. Are you ready?
Bomb kill. Let's hear it.
I'm not going to dock you on the callback. I'm not going to, because it's just a few minutes. Survived. You survived. I don't think you bombed because you had a few good ones in there. You survived, and I thought you did a good job. And congratulations. You made it through the first.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
First ever critique of stand-up
Yeah.
What do you guys and I guess viewers as well could comment and see now that we are in quarantine? I was like, I don't know how long this is going to last. And there is some material that I haven't shared with anyone that I what do you guys think about like me next week performing some of the stuff just for you two?
I think that'd be fun. I'm into that.
I think we got to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Then there you go. Because I also agree with what Jay was saying. I have a couple jokes that are really long. And so I could see that taking actually the whole 3 minutes. There's little jokes in like within it, but really the whole it's an entire premise would last. Shoot, it might last 5 minutes. So I guess but yeah, I'll go ahead and like prepare a 2 to 3 minute thing for our next podcast. And I think that'd be fun. Jay, maybe you too, if that, or we can, I guess we'll probably just do one, right?
Yeah.
We'll do one a show.
Yeah. Maybe next time we kind of focus on you because the focus was really on me a lot this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, one thing I noticed with you, going back to that economy of words idea is I remember and I haven't seen you perform for, I don't know, 2 years or something, but that one coffee shop open mic, the literal first open mic I ever did, I might have been up there for
me too.
57 seconds before I was just like, oh God, and like had to get down. But like, I remember you did kind of like, maybe you were nervous or something. You kind of were like smiling and you did, I feel like it took a while to build up to your jokes, but then once you got to your punchlines, people were like, and that's another thing, people are willing to go along with you for that. But it might hit harder if you like trim some of the setup out because that's the hard part is when I get nervous too. Some of those transitions or awkward things, I'm very conscious like, okay, I need to like get to the joke. I need to get to the joke. Like in my head, I'm telling myself that. So I try not to like do too much. And then and this and that. It's like, okay, is any of this really relevant to the punchline? No, then I just cut it out. You know,
you don't want it to be too wordy for sure.
Yeah.
Right. You want like and maybe you get really good
point.
like Mark Maron. He can sit there and be like, well, you know, the state of the world, the state of the world. People are just like this, and people are like that, and he can go on for 5 minutes.
With whiskey all the time.
No.
A glass of whiskey on.
No, because he's sober. He's been sober for a while.
You thinking of Dennis Leary? No.
No. Are you thinking like the dude from like the country dude?
No.
Ron White.
Get her done guy?
No, the Ron White. That's who I think.
Oh, you know the Get Her Done guy?
Ron White. It's Ron
You know
White.
the Get Her Done guy? Their friend Larry the Cable Guy. I saw a podcast with him. He's like the nicest guy, and he's not he's kind of he has a southern accent, but like when he's not playing that Larry the Cable Guy character, he's just like a totally different guy. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's
Interesting.
an act.
Yeah, I get that too. I think I like the approach of not having to like be a character when I'm on stage and just like presenting my ideas. And hopefully they're funny, but I guess, yeah, you kind of find what works. Like to me also, I'm not trying to shit on comedians, but that dude with the puppets.
Oh yeah. What's his name? Jeff Dunham? Jeff Dunham.
Yeah. Whatever.
Well,
yeah.
Those puppets might have landed in the 90s, but now it just seems really dated and like kind of racist. Yeah. Like it's just him being like, "Hey, Mexican people are stupid, right?" It's just like, "I am a terrorist." And it's like,
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Kill you.
And you're like, "So is the joke that we hate brown people?" Like I'm not. Like
stereotypes are funny.
Oh, it's weird how his shows always end with the crowd chanting "USA, USA." I don't know why.
MAGA.
Yeah, exactly.
MAGA.
Yeah, it just turns into a riot, and then they just start busting down like Korean grocery stores after the show. It's like, oh, another great crowd. But no, guys, it's so one thing to say to the viewers who don't know, I'm fasting for Ramadan this month, and the sunset just happened, guys. So we're gonna break the fast together with water.
So
boom. Let's break it up and wrap it up so you can get to eating and yeah. I think this was a good first show.
I think so too.
Please call in with any advice or anything you want advice on. I don't know. I guess all kinds of stuff. Jay had brought up dating advice. I guess that'd be nice. Kind of...
Yeah, I think Will gives interesting dating advice because I was in a 5-year long relationship that I got out of let's call it a year ago or a year, and I don't really know when it ended, but it was basically around 5 years, and like that's basically my dating experience. Like I did not really get good at dating during that 5 years. You were saying the other day, you were just like dating and like leveling up and understanding like the dating game, and it's just been like, yeah, it's funny because it's like I'm a few years older than you, but I feel like I look up to you in terms of dating because you have so much more experience, like just in the dating game than I do. You know?
To me, it's on different things. Like, and we talked about that too. Like that monogamous long-term relationship, I haven't had as much experience living with someone or not.
Right.
So I think that dynamic that we all bring, mainly, will add a lot. So I'm looking forward to, we'll have kind of different segments that we're going to try out throughout the podcast, and we'll see kind of which ones stick and which ones people like. So let us know what your thoughts are.
All right. Will's going to do his stand-up next episode.
Yeah.
We got that to look forward to.
That'll
Jay,
be fun.
We got anything else?
No, I think we're good. Anything from you guys? I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm
Thanks
solid,
for
bro.
All right. Well, don't forget, whoinvitedwill@gmail.com. Send us your advice. Send us your stand-up. Basically, send us anything we can use as content for episodes 3 through infinity. And we really appreciate you guys listening. Thanks so much. Episode 1 in the books. Who Invited Will. Bye, everyone.
Peace.
Yeah.